guys. Today we're going over a topic that kind of sucks for me, but it's necessary. I'm going to be talking about everything that is wrong currently with my 350Z. Now, these aren't things that are like wrong to the point where I can't drive the car from point A to B. In fact, it is, ooh, nice Miata. So these aren't things that prevent me from driving the car. They're really just things that are cosmetic and bother me. I've had the car now for so long that I figure it's time to get around to fixing them. So we got interior defects and exterior defects. And defects as in, this is a 15-year-old Nissan and these parts were not supposed to last this long in the first place. Example number one, steering wheel. This thing is shredded. Little bits come up on my hand if I grip it too hard or I'm driving too hard. So the plates here are also, whatever coating was on the outside of them is dried up and cracked off at this point. In addition to that, we got this glove box here. The finish is also shredded off of that and it will not open unless I hit the switch and push on the top. There we go. Even then, it doesn't really work most of the time. The passenger door switch plate, where the window switch is, that thing is scratched, and it looks like somebody was trying to scratch their way out of the car. I don't know how it got that messed up, but that needs to be replaced pretty badly. There was some silver trim that surrounds the air conditioning vents. That was pretty beat up. It was also plastic. I wound up wrapping it gloss black. It looks good, but I'm not a professional wrapper, the kind that wraps cars. So parts of the edges are starting to peel up and look pretty bad. So those need to be refinished. What else we got? My seat's ripped. It leaves a little bit of fuzz on me every time I get in and out of the car. The pedal covers are also cracked and the original plastic, so if my shoes have even a drop of water on them, they start to slip around. So those need to be replaced. Also kind of a safety thing, but that's fine. It hasn't killed me yet. What else we got? Oh, scratched up center console trim. Looks like somebody kicked that until the paint came off. And last but not least, the plastic lenses of my gauges, the accessories and the tach speedometer cluster as well. It looks like something was spilled on those, and that something was never dried up, so we have these weird water spots that need to be polished out. So what else we got? Oh, the trunk. I took everything out of the trunk at some point because I thought this car was fast and needed to be faster somehow. So that looks pretty bad. We need to refinish that at some point or just reinstall the original trunk. Nice WRX. Okay, so that's the interior. Now for the exterior. It's saved a lot, I think, by the paint, Solar Orange. It's the original paint, code A53. It's a really nice orange with a pearlescent effect. So it's like 3 different shades of orange and a little bit of red too. It really kind of looks like the sun when you look at pictures of the sun, I guess. Don't look into the sun, please. So there's paint chips all over, the hatch is scratched up, and there are dings and dents to no end. People love to open their door up into this car. And I also, to be honest, in the past have dinged this car. I've scratched the front bumper, I've scratched the rear quarter panel. I've probably closed the door a little bit too hard once or twice, but yeah, the paint's definitely seen better days. This isn't something I'm going to address now. I do plan on getting a Nismo V3 kit for this car because I think that looks amazing for a factory body kit. At that time, I will repaint the entire car. But that's not for a long time. Probably the last thing that I'll do to this car. In addition to that, I've also curbed the wheels, but they're XXR 527s, so let's be real, those needed to be changed at some point anyways. I mean, no hate to the XXRs, they've lasted, they've never cracked or bent, and I've hit some pretty gnarly potholes in this car. But, you know, they're like the satin black finish, and I think it looks a little tacky on this car. Starting to look like Halloween Town with the black and orange theme, so we're gonna go back with some silver wheels. So all in all, not too bad. I mean, the interior is definitely worse than the exterior. It is notably beat up in here, noticeably beat up in here. I think if I replace some of the scratched trim, redo the headliner, fix the steering wheel, and, you know, maybe reupholster the seats, the car is going to be night and day. Because it's not a very comfortable car in the first place, and I've made it a lot stiffer. So it'd be nice if the thing at least, you know, looked a little bit newer. Outside of that, mechanically, nothing really needs to be fixed in this car. There's just a couple of squeaks and rattles from the polyurethane bushings that I installed that I need to address. That coupled with the lightweight flywheel, it's just a little bit too much squeaks from the outside of the car for me to feel comfortable, you know. Anytime I drive past people, kind of feels like their perception of the car is that it's, you know, broken or about to fall apart and, you know, crash into their car. So we'll address that eventually, reduce the noise, but for now, the bushings are really doing their job. The car handles amazingly. I really, really love the way this car feels. Moving on, so I made this list of things that I plan to do to refresh the interior and exterior of this car. One thing I like to do that I don't see a lot of YouTubers talking about is budget for those changes and modifications. So I have my whole entire build planned out in Google Sheets, and for the build I've listed each of the parts in like the column A. Column B I use for the price of each of the parts so I can get a total for my build. And then in column C, I leave a link to where you can purchase each of the parts at the price that I've found. So that way, if I'm not going to go ahead and purchase all of the parts for the build at once, I can at least go back to the Google Sheet and find where I can purchase each of the parts at any time in the future. I don't have to look it up again. I'm kind of front loading all of the work as far as research goes for prices and what I want for my build. And let's face it, I mean, if you're a car guy, chances are you're already always looking on Craigslist, eBay, or whatever parts site to find the next thing that you want to change about your car. So why not just do all the work at one time, and then as you can do your build, as you can afford the parts, or as you have time to buy them and install them, go ahead and do it. You can come back to your Google Sheet, check something off your to-do list, and feel that much better about yourself and your progress with your car. Oh yeah. Whoa! Sorry guys.